Tonight on Skyline, the world looks like it is balancing on the edge of escalation. American drones exploring over Yemen, fighter jets colliding in the US skies, Iran issuing fresh warning, China flexing new military technology, Netanyahu facing public fury at home, and even a passenger flight turning into chaos at 35,000 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not isolated stories anymore. They are signs of world becoming more and more tense, more unpredictable and more dangerous by the day. I am Triti Athri and this is Skyline. In the first segment, can you imagine a scene for a moment? A loud explosion tears through the sky east of Yemen's capital, Sana'a. People rushing outside with their phones, burning debris, lighting up the darkness. Within minutes, dramatic videos begin flooding social media claiming that Houthi fighters have shot down an American MQ-9 Reaper drone. Now, officially, there is no confirmation from Washington, but the footage, that itself has not been independently verified too. But you know what? The reports, if it is true, then this would be another major moment in the growing confrontation between the Houthis and the United States. Same Houthis backed by Iran. And yes, this is not just any aircraft that we are talking about. We are talking about MQ-9 Reaper. It is one of America's most important surveillance drones. It can stay in the air for long duration, monitor the enemy movement, collect intelligence, and even launch precision strike. These drones are central to the United States military operation across West Asia, which means even if one has truly been brought down, it sends a serious signal. Now, the Houthis, they have increasingly positioned themselves as a force willing to directly challenge the American military operation in that region. Over the last year, the Red Sea and in fact the surrounding areas, it has become major flashpoint with attacks on shipping routes, drone interceptions, and rising fear over regional spillover from the wider Iran-Israel tension. And now this alleged drone strike, it adds another layer to that particular pressure. Wait, look at the symbolism here. A non-state militia operating from war-torn Yemen, potentially destroying one of the world's most advanced unmanned aircraft systems. Well, that definitely tells you how warfare is changing. Expensive military technology are now being challenged by cheaper missiles, drones, in fact, decentralized groups willing to take risks. In the meantime, America still possesses overwhelming military power. The world knows about it. But incidents like this, it shows that even superpowers, they are becoming vulnerable in asymmetric warfare environment. Ladies and gentlemen, questions are now growing rapidly. What mission was the drone carrying out? Was it conducting surveillance over Houthi-controlled territory? What exactly weapon may have been used to bring it down? And perhaps most importantly, how will Washington respond if the incident is officially confirmed? Because let's be honest, in today's West Asia, even one burning drone can trigger a much larger chain reaction. Now let's go from Yemen to Idaho in our next segment, where spectators at an American airshow suddenly witness a terrifying military incident unfolding in real time. Thousands had gathered near Mountain Home Air Force Base for a gunfighter Skies airshow. Families, they were recording videos. Children were watching the military display, and then suddenly, two EA-18G Growler, that's an aircraft, they collided mid-air. The visuals are shocking. The aircraft appears to slam into each other before smoke begins pouring into the sky. For several seconds, panic spread through the crowd because nobody exactly knows whether the pilots managed to escape or not. And then 4 parachutes, thankfully, they became visible overhead. That moment likely prevented what could have become a national tragedy. In fact, according to reports, all 4 US Navy pilots safely ejected before the aircraft crash. Emergency crew after that rushed to the area while the base, it was placed under lockdown, and attendees, they were temporarily held inside as officials secured the scene. In the meantime, investigations are now underway just to determine exactly what went wrong here. And remember here, these are not any ordinary fighter jets that we are talking about. We are talking about EA-18G Growler. It is highly advanced electronic warfare aircraft designed to jam the enemy radar system, disrupt communication, and support military strike operation. Now, these jets, they play a very important role in modern warfare. Their pilots are among the most highly trained pilots in the United States military. And which is why this particular incident, it has raised larger concern about operational risk and pressure inside modern armed forces. Military aviation today involves complex maneuvers, advanced coordination, and constant readiness training. Even during air shows, the precision required, it is enormous. One timing error, one miscommunication breakdown, one split-second misjudgment, and disaster, it can happen instantly. And this particular incident, it also arrives during a period when the US forces are heavily engaged globally. Well, from West Asia to the Indo-Pacific, military readiness demands, they are increasing. Training cycles are intensifying, and accidents like this remind the entire world that behind every advanced weapon system, there are human beings operating under enormous pressure. Well, if we are talking about the Gulf region, how can we forget Saudi Arabia? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a fresh update from the Arab world. Gulf region, where fears surrounding drones and regional escalation are growing once again. Saudi Arabia says it intercepted 3 drones that entered from Iraqi airspace. At nearly the same time, reports emerged that the drone struck a generator outside the UAE nuclear power plant in Al Dhafra. Officials say that there was no damage to the plant's inner perimeter though, and there was no radiation threat. But wait, let's pause for a second here. Any incident involving a nuclear-linked facility immediately triggers global concern, because the psychological impact alone, that's massive. If we are talking about the nuclear plant, the Barak plant, it is one of Gulf's most sensitive strategic locations. Even a nearly strike, it sends a message that critical infrastructure is increasingly exposed to the drone warfare. Here, Saudi officials say that 2 UAVs were intercepted while one reportedly impacted outside the plant area. Well, Riyadh has warned that it reserves the right to respond to any threat against its sovereignty. In the meantime, Iraq has rejected claims that its territory should be used as a launchpad for regional attacks and stressed that weapons must remain under state control. And this is the frightening reality of today's West Asia. Drones have changed the security equation altogether. They are cheap, they are difficult to track, they are capable of targeting oil sites, military bases, airports, strategic facilities with increasing precision. Traditional air defense systems, they were designed for what? For larger threats like fighter jets or ballistic missiles. But drone warfare operates very differently. It's quieter, faster, and less predictable. And this is why Gulf nations are becoming increasingly nervous. One unidentified drone crossing one border, it can suddenly create accusations, retaliation, threat, and regional instability. Well, the fear is not just the attack itself. The fear is miscalculation, because in an already tense environment, one wrong assumption, it can rapidly escalate into a much larger confrontation. Now, to the favorite human of the entire planet, let's talk about Israeli Prime Minister Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, who is now facing one of the most difficult moments of his political career. Well, thousands of angry protesters have flooded Habima Square in Tel Aviv, accusing the entire government of dragging their country deeper into crisis. The streets were filled with very dramatic slogans: Prime Minister, how much blood will be spilled, disaster for the state of Israel. Now, these are not just opposition chanting anymore. They reflect exhaustion, frustration, growing public anger after months of military operation that many Israelis believe have failed to deliver lasting security. Despite the heavy military action, Hamas remains active in Gaza, right? Hezbollah continues to pose a threat from Lebanon. Hostage families remain emotional and frustrated. And many citizens, they are now openly questioning whether Mr. Netanyahu's strategy is actually making Israel safer or pushing the entire country deeper into instability. Now, the political pressure, that is also intensifying. Opposition figures, including Democratic leader Yair Golan, He has sharply criticized what he calls the government's extreme nationalism. Rumors are growing about coalition fractures and the possibility of early snap election as soon as September. This matters because Mr. Netanyahu has long built his political image around security and strength. But now he faces criticism, not just internationally this time, but domestically as well. And let me tell you, that changes the entire equation completely. Israeli politics can shift very, very quickly under public pressure, specifically during prolonged conflict situation. Well, the scenes from Tel Aviv reveal something deeper. Israeli society itself is becoming increasingly divided over the future direction of the entire country. Well, some demand even stronger military action. Others fear endless war without clear results. And you know what? That internal division may ultimately become just as politically dangerous as the threats Israel face externally. And now comes one of tonight's most alarming development. Iranian media reports they are claiming that Tehran could be preparing long-range missile capabilities designed to threaten targets deep inside the United States itself. In fact, that includes Washington DC and New York City. Can you imagine that? It is very important to say it very clearly that these reports remain unverified. Basically, information warfare. But wait, even as discussion, it is itself a significant one because it reflects how dramatically tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States have escalated in recent years. According to claims, Iran could be preparing as many as 500 long-range missiles in response to any future military strike. And if that is true, this would represent one of the most dramatic shifts in Iran's strategy posture in decades. Now, if you know, Iran already possesses the largest missile arsenals in the whole West Asia, including ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, large underground missile cities spread across the country. Now, Iran has spent years investing heavily in missile technology because sanctions and military isolation forced Iran to focus on deterrence here. Instead of building massive air force like the Western powers, Iran developed missiles. Iran developed drone capabilities capable of threatening the regional adversaries and military bases, and that too across the West Asia. Now, these talks remain stalled. Distrust between Tehran and Washington, it is extremely high. In the meantime, Israeli military pressure, it continues, and every side appears to be preparing for worst-case scenario rather than a compromise. This is why the entire world, by the way, is watching Iran so carefully because any major escalation involving Iran, it immediately affects everything: oil prices, shipping routes, global energy market, regional military. In fact, how can we forget Strait of Hormuz? It alone carries a massive portion of global oil trade, which means instability in this region, it quickly becomes an international economic problem. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the rhetoric itself is becoming more and more dangerous because once capitals like Washington and New York enter the language of missile threat, well, the psychological stakes rise dramatically. But wait, here's the story that many viewers may not fully understand yet. But inside Pentagon circles, it is becoming a serious debate. Ladies and gentlemen, America's long-range naval strike capacity, it could soon face major pressure. That's right, the focus is on the planned retirement of Ohio-class guided missile submarines. Let me explain. These submarines, they are among the most powerful underwater strike platforms in the entire world. They can carry enormous numbers of Tomahawk cruise missiles, capable of hitting targets from long distances, and that too with accurate precision. And yes, at the very same time, the US Navy is also retiring the older Ticonderoga class cruisers, which further reduces missile launching capacity. Well, now combined together, these retirements, it could significantly reduce the number of Tomahawk missiles America can deploy very quickly during major conflict like the West Asian. Now, replacement systems, they are actually coming, mainly through Virginia-class Block 5 submarine. But there is an important difference. These new submarines carry fewer missiles as compared to the older Ohio-class SSGNs. That has sparked debate about whether the United States could actually face limitation, and that too during prolonged high intensity conflict with Iran. And this discussion matters because America's military strategy increasingly depends on what? Long range precision strike system. Whether in West Asia, whether in Indo Pacific, or against heavily defended targets. Cruise missiles are central to the US deterrence and the war planning. At the very same time, rivals are modernizing rapidly. China is expanding naval power. Iran is improving missile capacity. Russia, it continues investing heavily in strategic weapons. In the meantime, Washington is trying to maintain military readiness across multiple theaters simultaneously. Ukraine, Red Sea, West Asia, Taiwan. And that is why analysts are now openly discussing sustainability. Can America maintain overwhelming military dominance across several major crises all at once? Well, that is a question that would have sounded almost unimaginable 20 years ago. But today, even the Pentagon is being forced to think very carefully about military limits, industrial capacity, and long-term readiness. Now, let's go to China, where Beijing may have just delivered one of its strongest military signals yet to Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, China has reportedly tested a new, advanced anti-missile defense system capable of detecting and intercepting ultra-low altitude threats, including the sea-skimming missile and high-speed drones. According to reports, the drill also simulated hypersonic attack scenario and electronic warfare condition. And yes, it's very important to note the timing here. This test comes just days after Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping. He issued a sharp warning to the United States President over Taiwan, which means this was not a technical missile exercise anymore. It was definitely a strategic messaging. Here, China appears to be telling Washington something very direct. We are preparing for the next generation of warfare. And you know what? That next generation, it is all about speed. Hypersonic weapons have become one of the biggest military fears globally because they travel at extraordinary speed while maneuvering unpredictability. That is making them very difficult to intercept with traditional defense systems. The United States, Russia, China, all are racing to dominate this technology because whosoever controls hypersonic warfare would gain a major strategic advantage. And now China is signaling that it is not only developing the offensive system, but also defensive capabilities designed to survive future missile heavy conflict. In fact, reports suggest the military drills recreated heavily complex battlefield conditions, including the electronic jamming, fast-moving threat, and low-altitude attacks that are designed to bypass the radar system. This matters because Taiwan issue. It remains one of the most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints in the entire world today. Beijing considers Taiwan part of China. In the meantime, the United States continues supporting Taiwan militarily and politically. And every missile exercise or military exercise around this particular issue, it sends shockwaves across global market and defense circle. The bigger message here, it is psychological. China wants to project confidence. It wants Washington to believe that Beijing is becoming technologically prepared for any future confrontation scenario. Whether the system is fully operational or still experimental, that is kind of secondary right now because perception itself, it is part of modern warfare. Military strength today, it is not only about weapons, it is about deterrence, signaling, fear, confidence, strategic messaging. China do understands this very, very well. And tonight, Beijing appears determined to show that it is no longer simply reacting to American military power, but it is now preparing to challenge it directly. Now let's talk about China's ally and the United States' biggest rival right now. Here comes the diplomatic confrontation that could reshape the future of the entire Gulf nation. Iran has reportedly rejected the latest American peace proposal, and instead it has issued a series of hardline demands that have stunned both Washington and Israel. And at the center of this crisis is just one location, the Strait of Hormuz. And if you do understand the energy politics, you must understand why this is so serious. The Strait of Hormuz, it is one of the world's most critical oil choke points. A massive percentage of global oil shipment, it passes through this narrow waterway every single day, which means any disruption over there, it immediately affects fuel prices, shipping costs, insurance market, and global inflation. In fact, according to reports, Iran is now demanding a new system of control over Hormuz that could potentially allow Tehran to regulate or maybe restrict major shipping movement. Alongside that, Iran is reportedly demanding sanction relief. In fact, release of frozen assets, an end to American naval presence in the Gulf, and guarantees against the future military action. And let me tell you, that's a lot. Washington, in the meantime, has already rejected these conditions as unacceptable. And that is where the danger begins, because when diplomacy collapses, military pressure, it usually rises. The entire Gulf region, it has already witnessed years of tanker seizure, drone incident, naval confrontation, and attacks on oil infrastructure. Every time tensions rise around Hormuz, global market became nervous because the entire world economy still heavily depends on the stable Gulf energy flow. Here, Iran's demands, it also reveals something important about Tehran's current strategy. Well, Iran believes it holds leverage because of the geography. Hormuz gives Tehran a lot of influence over one of the most important trade arteries in the world. And during period of confrontation, Iran often uses that particular leverage to pressure the rivals economically as well as militarily. And now, negotiations appears deeply stalled. Trust between Tehran and Washington, it is extremely weak. Israel continues watching Iran's nuclear and missile activities very closely. If we talk about America, then American naval forces remain active across the Gulf. And every side appears increasingly unwilling to compromise anymore. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, analysts fear the Hormuz dispute, it could become the next major flashpoint in West Asia. Because if tension escalates over there, the consequences, it would not remain reachable. Fuel prices across the world could spike. Shipping routes could face disruption, military deployment could intensify rapidly. And once the global energy route it becomes part of a geopolitical conflict, then the entire world feels the impact. Now, moving on to the last segment of the show. Finally tonight, a story that sounds almost unbelievable, but unfolded inside a real international passenger flight. A Qantas flight traveling from Melbourne to Dallas, it was forced to divert to Tahiti after a passenger allegedly became violent midair. The flight QF21, it had already been in the air for nearly 7 hours during its exhausting 18-hour journey when chaos suddenly erupted on board. Well, according to reports, the passenger appeared intoxicated and became increasingly aggressive towards the crew member and the fellow travelers. And then came the disturbing allegation. Reports say the passenger allegedly bit a flight attendant while the crew attempted to restrain him. In the meantime, videos uploaded online show the man stumbling out of the aircraft toilet while still adjusting his belt. Well, after that, he's also arguing very loudly with the staff and making bizarre comments about wanting a hazardous element. You know, at one point when crew member warned him to calm down, he reportedly responded aggressively and even threatened staff when they discussed restraining him. The whole situation became so serious that several passengers reportedly stood up to help the cabin crew control him. Now for a moment, can you imagine the atmosphere inside the aircraft? Families on board, children sitting nearby, hundreds of passengers trapped thousands of feet above the Pacific Ocean with nowhere to go. Inside an aircraft, even one violent passenger, it can quickly become a major safety threat because the environment, it is so confined and so sensitive. Eventually, the aircraft diverted to Fa International Airport in Papeete, Tahiti, where local police boarded the plane. Later on, the footage showed the passenger restrained face down while the officers took control of the entire situation. The airlines later confirmed the individual had been banned from the airline forever. Well, the airline has also issued a strong statement saying the safety of passengers and crew remains its highest priority and that there is zero tolerance for threatening behavior on board flight. And this particular incident, it also reflects a growing global problem. Air rage incidents have increased significantly in recent years. Airlines around the globe are reporting more cases about aggressive behavior, verbal abuse, in fact, confrontation on board aircraft. Long-haul travel itself creates enormous stress, exhaustion, in fact, confined spaces, delay, anxiety, emotional pressure. In the meantime, cabin crew today, they are increasingly being forced to act not only as hospitality staff but also a crisis manager and frontline security personnel. Because once an aircraft door closes, there is no easy exit. A plane at 35,000 feet becomes a controlled environment where one passenger's behavior, it can affect the safety and mental state of everybody on board. And tonight's incident is another reminder of just how quickly normal travel can change into a complete chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's stories, they may look very, very different on surface. Count them. A burning American drone in Yemen, US military jets crashing mid-air, drone entering Gulf airspace, Mr. Netanyahu facing furious protest at home, Iran escalating missile rhetoric, China flexing advanced military system, global energy route becoming geopolitical weapon, and finally, chaos erupting inside a passenger aircraft. But underneath all these headlines, there is one common theme: pressure. Pressure between nations, pressure inside government, pressure inside militaries, pressure inside societies, and history shows something important here. The world becomes most dangerous not only during wars, but during moments of rising uncertainty, rising ego, rising mistrust, and rising miscalculation. Because sometimes one rule, one missile, one political mistake, or even one aggressive moment inside an airplane, it can suddenly trigger consequences nobody ever expected. And that is why these stories tonight, it matters a lot. I'm Vritti Athri, this is Skyline. See you in the next one.